coming up today on Enjoying Everyday Life.
We tend to speak our own love language.
Right.
That is, whatever makes us feel loved, that's what we tend to give the other person. But if you don't get your primary love language, you won't feel loved, even though your spouse may be speaking some of the other languages.
Welcome to Enjoying Everyday Life. You know, I believe today's show is going to be really special, so I'm glad you've joined us because I believe it's going to really help you in all of your relationships. You know, we all want to feel loved, and we want those that we do love to truly know how we feel about them. Well, this week we're going to talk about how we can do that. You know, one of the things that I've discovered, and so glad that I did, is that everybody's not alike, and everybody doesn't respond to the same thing. You know, one person might need a lot of time. Another person might enjoy words of affirmation. Well, you know, I think a lot of times what we do is we give other people what we like instead of finding out what they like and trying to give it to them. Well, Dr. Gary Chapman understands the trials and the tribulations that we all can go through in relationships. And through counseling hundreds of couples, he has discovered and written a book about the 5 love languages. So here's more about Dr. Chapman.
Millions of couples credit Dr. Gary Chapman with saving their marriage. He's authored numerous books, including the bestseller, The 5 Love Languages. He hosts a nationally syndicated radio program. He's counseled countless couples for more than 30 years. And he's expanded his 5 Love Language series to reach teens, singles, men, and children.
Well, Dr. Chapman, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you, Joyce. It's good to be back with you.
Thank you. Well, the Bible says that love is like the most important thing. Jesus said, "One new commandment I give unto you, that you love one another just as I have loved you." And I think a lot of times we just think, well, love is a feeling, or it's just kind of something we talk about, or it's a nice theory. But love actually has different facets, and it even has a language. And you've apparently done a lot of study in this area. So how did you discover the languages of love?
You know, Joyce, it's interesting. In counseling people over the years, pretty obvious that what made one person feel loved didn't make another person feel loved. So they're sitting in my office, you know, and she says, "I just feel like he doesn't love me." And he says, "What are you talking about? You know, I do this and this and this and this." And she says, "Well, yeah, but..." And then she says what she wants.
Right.
And so I realized after a long time that I was hearing the same stories over and over again. And so I sat down and went through about 12 years of the notes that I had made while I was counseling people.
Wow.
And asked myself the question, when someone said, "I feel like my spouse doesn't love me," what did they want? Mm-hmm. Well, they fell into 5 categories. And consequently, later I called them the 5 love languages. And I wasn't dogmatic, you know, when I wrote the book to say there's only 5.
Yeah.
But now that it's been out for 14 years, and it's helped thousands and thousands of people, what I realized is these are pretty fundamental.
And what are they?
One of them is words of affirmation. You know, you look nice in that outfit. Mm-hmm. Acts of service, doing something for the person that you know they would like for you to do. Mm-hmm. Gifts, universal, to give gifts as an expression of love. Quality time, giving the person your undivided attention. And physical touch. We've long known the emotional power of physical touch. So those are the 5 fundamental languages of love. Many dialects within each of the languages, but 5 fundamental languages.
I think that's so interesting because one of the things that helped me tremendously in relationships many years ago was material that I got my hands on from various authors about the different personalities. Mm-hmm. And it really helped me to understand just a very simple basic truth, which is we're not all alike.
Yes.
And so if we expect everybody to want what we want and like what we like and feel the way we do about things, then we're just in for nothing but arguments and strife and offense all the time, because it's not that there's something wrong with them. That's just the way they see things. And so then these 5 languages of love also are very helpful to people because, as I said, I think so often we give people what we like and we can't figure out why that's not meeting their need. I know very often, I'll receive gifts, and it's like, why would somebody give me that? And you know that they did it because they cared, but the truth is they gave you what they like. People even give you the colors they like and the styles. And I understand that, because, to be honest, I have a difficult time buying a gift for someone that I don't like.
Yes.
Like if I'm buying for someone whose style is totally different than mine, I have to just get my emotions out of it and figure, I'm not going to like what I'm going to buy.
Yeah, right.
But the key is for them to like
You're
it.
You're thinking about them. Exactly. And that's really the key in love. And that's why so many couples have sat in my office through the years and expressed the fact that they feel unloved. And yet the other person, in their mind, they are loving them.
Right.
And they can tell you what they're doing to show that love. So what you're saying is exactly right. We tend to speak our own love language.
Right.
That is, whatever makes us feel love, that's what we tend to give the other person. So here's a husband who's saying to his wife, you look nice in that dress. I really love you. I really appreciate you. Thanks for this meal. And he's giving her all these words. And she says to me, I just feel like he doesn't love me.
Right.
And he's blown away.
Yeah.
I tell you I love you every day. But to her, maybe her love language is acts of service. And she's saying inside her mind, if he loved me, he would do something around here.
Right.
Look at him watching television while I sit here and do all the work.
Right.
So she's wanting acts of service, and he's giving words of affirmation. He's sincere, but he's missing her emotionally.
How does just the difference in men and women play into this? Because men and women are just different. Men are more logical.
Yes.
Women are more emotional. A man might say, well, I married you, I bring my paycheck home, I don't run around with other women, I come home every night. What do you mean I don't love you?
Yes.
But still, that's not meeting her emotional need.
Yeah.
And so I know you studied the differences in male and female a lot. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, well, I think there are many differences between males and females. When it comes to the love languages, however, I have not tried to say some of these are more male and some of these are more female for one reason. When I do that, there's going to be some males who won't fit in the category.
Right.
And who'll say, well, wait a minute, I'm a male and that's not my language, So what I'm saying in the love languages is the important thing is to discover the love language of your spouse.
Right.
Not women in general, but your spouse or your husband, what makes them feel loved. And we really did discover that out of the 5 languages, everybody has a primary language. One of these is more important than the other 4. You appreciate the other 4, they're fine, but if you don't get your primary love language, you won't feel loved, even though your spouse may be speaking some of the other languages. So we try to help people understand what their primary language is. Sometimes a secondary language is also very important.
Is it hard with some people to figure out what it is?
Typically not, if you understand the concept. Typically, well, there's 3 basic questions you can ask yourself to discover your love language. One is, what do I complain about most often?
Yeah.
That's the biggest clue, because you complain about the thing that hurts you most.
Right.
So
That's
if your
good.
spouse is saying, we don't ever spend any time together.
Right.
They're telling you that quality time is their love language. So the complaint is the big thing. But also you can observe their behavior, observe your own behavior. How do you express love to other people?
Right.
If you're always patting people on the back, physical touch is probably, you are always hugging people, physical touch is probably your language. So how do you express love to other people? And then the third is, what do you request most often of the other person? If you're saying, honey, you think we could get a weekend together away this summer?
Yeah.
You're asking